Hey y'all, it's Gemini Jazz with House of Chiron, and I'm just here for the good news, honey. We are back with another episode of Galactic Gossip. Yes, indeed. This week, we have a lot of energy to discuss. So, we're going to talk about the energies that we're coming out of, because we're coming from a lot of I'm not going to say chaotic, but busy energy. And we're moving into some very transformative and transitional energy this week. It's a lot of things to discuss. So if y'all see me going back and forth, it's because I have 2 pages of notes just so I can make sure I give y'all all the details, all the information. So also I will talk about a little bit about the big elephant in the room, because I'm sure some of y'all are wondering if I was going to discuss that, what's happening globally with all of us. And I am going to discuss it very briefly, but not in a matter to incite more fear and chaos. I'm going to attempt to provide you all with a sense of peace, clarity, and resolve in this situation. And I'm not really going to talk too much about it because it's already being talked about all over the place. So just going to give y'all the astrology on it as much as I possibly can. So with that being said, let's get into the energy for this week. We are starting with March 15th all the way through March the 21st, which is Saturday. I will cover some of the energy for Sunday, but as y'all already know, I always come back with another Galactic Gossip every week. So I will just go more in detail next week for the energy for next Sunday. So let's get into it, starting with Sunday, March 15th, all the way through Saturday, March 21st. So Sunday, the moon in Sagittarius is squaring Neptune in Pisces. So the moon being our emotions, our emotional responses to the things that we think, things that we experience. This squaring Neptune, which is the planet of illusion, dreams, and psychic awareness, psychic abilities, also the planet that rules the 12th house of the unconscious, the unseen. It is breeding an air of not seeing things clearly, right? If you think about Neptune and the things that it governs movies. It also governs parts of the media. It governs makeup, literally makeup. And not that I have any on, fresh face, but it governs makeup. It governs all the things that can breed an illusion, right? And if you take that into consideration with the moon, it's telling us that the moon, making a square to this planet that breeds illusions, that can breed illusions, and it's telling us that what we're feeling is not actually being seen clearly, that we have a lack of understanding. So there's something there that we are missing, and it's bringing on this heightened sensitivity in the world already. And with this energy, we are able to tap into the emotions and feelings of others, because we have a heightened sensitivity, a heightened awareness, and we can feel hurt, right? We can feel pain more so, and it might not even be yours. You might could feel the energy and the pain and the concern and the worry of the collective energy, which is all of us, on a global scale, because things are happening right now in the world, and what's happening internally is manifesting externally, right? So if there has been chaos, confusion, fear, all these things that we as a collective have been hoarding inside, that is what's coming up and being manifested outwardly into the world. So just sit with that a little bit, with this energy, with this moon squaring Neptune, and ask yourself what beliefs are not really yours that you are carrying around. What is it that you believe out here? What that's happening globally in the world? And why are you holding on to these beliefs? Do you truly believe, whatever it is? And if you truly do believe that belief, then how is it actually helping you in your life? How is it helping you with your emotional health, your mental health, um, physical health? Because all of that transforms and it transmutes into your physical well-being. So right now, it's best not to react. And it was probably too late saying that because everybody's gone mad a little bit. But it's best not to react. And it's a really great time with this energy to enjoy your downtime. Read, watch movies, color, journal. Think about some things that you would like to learn. It's a great time because with the moon being in Sagittarius, it's all about what can you learn? What emotional maturity can you tap into, or can you expand on? Can you learn? What can you take from this situation, and how can you grow from it? So just keep that in mind. And then the moon moves into Capricorn later on this evening, and it's going to be conjunct the South Node. So that is going to help us ground these things, right? The moon in Capricorn brings this grounding energy where you can actually have practical sense of your emotions and your responses to the things you think and the outside stimuli that happens in your life. So later on Monday, late Monday afternoon, the moon moves into Capricorn. It will be conjunct the South Node, and the South Node is the karmic release. So it's going to help you have a practical sense of your emotions and then release the things that does not resonate any longer. And this is going to help because Uranus is going to be making a sextile with the North Node. Now, Uranus, this is going to be a lot. So let me pull my notes to the front. All right, so Uranus sextile in the North Node, right? This is all about having a sudden burst of clarity, right? Mental clarity, because Uranus right now is in Taurus, and it's going to bring clarity regarding your values, the things that you truly believe, the things that you value, your possessions. And with the North Node being your destiny, it's supportive of where you are going, what direction we as a collective are going in our future. Where is it that you would like to go? That's why it's very important to ask yourself these questions about your beliefs, because if your beliefs are not in alignment with who you are, you're going to have a really hard time with manifesting anything because it's not in alignment. So there's going to be some insight, not necessarily to change your values, but to solidify your values, to actually get a full, clear understanding of what it is that you truly value, what it is that you truly want, what direction are you trying to go into, and what work are you doing to obtain these values? That's a good question to ask yourself. And where are you needing to mature emotionally in order to obtain the security that you need to obtain the things that you want, the things that you value, your possessions, whether it's partnerships, business, money, whatever form of stability in your life. You have to ask yourself these questions. What work needs to be done? How do I need to mature emotionally in regards to this in order to obtain the things that I desire on a heart space level? With Uranus being in Taurus, it's not going to necessarily change what you value, because your values are not supposed to change, really. They're supposed to elevate and mature. Yes, you can see them on a higher level, but with Uranus and Taurus, do not expect things to come wrapped in the packaging that you thought it was going to come in. So it doesn't mean that you're not going to get what you desire. It means that you should be more focused on the feeling that you have when you think about the things that you desire, when you think about the manifestation of these things. Because you can have what it is that you desire, and it might not look how you thought in your mind what it's going to look like, how it's going to come. But the feeling that you have associated with that, however it manifests into your life, is what's most important. So my friend gave me an example of this last night, but I had to change it into my own so I can have a deeper understanding to where I can express it to you all. So think of the holidays, right? And when you're a kid and Christmas time comes around, and you ask your mom or your dad for this toy, right? Whatever kind of toy it was. And in your mind, you envision that this gift was going to come wrapped in a red wrapping with a green bow. And it's going to come in a rectangular box, right? But Christmas time comes around and it's time for the gifts to come, and you don't see a red wrapped rectangular box with a green bow. But you see all these other gifts and you see all these things, so you get discouraged because it doesn't look like what you wanted. But have you had the chance to unwrap the packaging to see what's inside? So just kind of sit with that and see where this analogy fits in your life, especially with this Uranus and Taurus sextiling the North Node energy. It's showing you and it's shaking up the ways that what you value can manifest. It's shaking up the ideas of that. And just kind of ask yourself these questions. Does it matter what it looks like? Does it matter what it feels? Which is more important? You know, it doesn't matter how it feels. So you have to ask yourself which is more important, because you can manifest exactly what you desire. And it can look exactly how you thought it would look, and you could feel like crap with having it. You see that every day in the world. People get what they want, and that's where that saying came from. Be careful what you ask for. So ask yourself what's more important, the feeling or the packaging, right? So I had to go on that little spiel because with all the chaos that's going on right now in the world, it's very important for us to stay focused on what we value and the things that we desire and what that feels like and not what it looks like. So I'm gonna move on. So that's Sunday, Monday energy. Moving on to Tuesday, the 17th. So Mercury moves into Pisces, and we have the moon making a sextile to Mercury. So the moon will be in Capricorn. It will be sextiling Mercury in Pisces. And the moon in Capricorn also will be trining Venus in Taurus, right? So this is a great day to journal. Because the moon in Capricorn sextiling Mercury is going to be supporting the clarity that we receive, grounding our sight, our insight, grounding things and being able to put it together, right? Put together what it is that we're feeling, the insight that we have, because Mercury is the ruler of our thought process, you know, and it being in Pisces is going to bring in some intuitive insight. But with the moon being in Capricorn on Tuesday, what we feel from the things that we receive on a mental level will be more grounded, more practical. We'll be able to say, okay, this is what this means. This is how this is what I'm feeling. So because I am getting this bit of information and I can now see things a little clearly, I can put things in order. It's going to be responding from a more grounded space regarding what we feel and what we actually receive. let's see, we also have, mm, okay, so the moon making a trine to Venus. Moon in Capricorn trining Venus, like I said, gaining more stable ground in regards to our values. Keep in mind that Venus and Uranus is in the sign of Taurus right now. So it's really about partnerships, possessions, money, looking at the end goal, because Uranus rules the 11th house, it also rules Aquarius. Uranus is about long-term goals. What is it that you're trying to gain? Because it's about material gains. It's also about networking. It's about social groups. So it's showing you, with Uranus being in Taurus and also Venus being in Taurus, that the things that we value, the partnerships that we desire, we are going to have to really tap into our tribe, connect with our tribe, because Uranus and especially all the Aquarius energy is about um, being an independent, having the autonomy, but being able to work interdependently with others. It's all about the humanitarian efforts. It's about the inclusiveness, right? So keep in mind that this is showing us the people that are meant to stay and help us if things are not manifesting in a effortless way. It's kind of time to reevaluate what's holding you back, what's holding you down, what's bogging you down. And it's time to start making some moves to release a lot. And I say that because later on in the week, we have some things coming up. I'm going to get into it. So let's see, this is Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, a great day to journal on Tuesday. Really great day to journal your thoughts, journal your emotions, what's coming up for you on this day. Yeah. So that's the energy at the beginning of the week. Let's get into the middle of the week, because it's kind of like this week is kind of like a momentum type of thing. It's like it builds momentum as the days go. So on Wednesday, got to take a breath for this one. We have Mercury sextiling Uranus. So Mercury will be in Pisces, sextiling Uranus and Taurus. Uranus and Taurus is going to be sextiling the North Node in Cancer. And the North Node in Cancer is making a trine to Mercury in Pisces, right? So it's making this triangle. I wish I pulled up the chart for y'all, but I didn't. So I'll do that next time. But it's making this little triangle with these alignments and these aspects. And okay, so Mercury sextiling Uranus. So let's break this down first. The best way I can explain this is a robot. So you have a robot, and because Uranus is that quick divine download energy where you get this aha moment and you immediately have an understanding that you can put into action. Unlike Jupiter, where you learn and you have to practice for it to become part of you, for you to embody that. Uranus is the other way around. Uranus is that divine knowledge, right? That God-like knowledge, where once it's there, you can start moving on it. You can start acting in this. With Mercury being in Pisces, and Mercury is already the ruler of our thought process and our mindsets, it making a sextile to Uranus in Taurus is going to give us this instant download, this instant understanding, this innate understanding of what it is that we value, what needs to happen. So think of it like a robot. You put a program, you download this program into this robot. And the robot, at one point before it got this programming, was operating in this kind of way. But once you put this new program in this robot, the robot then literally switches gears and it starts doing something completely different. It's going to be like that, where you're going to recognize instantly what it is that has been holding you back, what it is that has been keeping you from obtaining the desires that you seek. And it could be that it gives you a completely different insight or a completely different perspective, because what you have been desiring has already been present, but you're not looking at it in that way. So just keep that in mind as well. There's going to be some type of exciting news, some type of information that comes in, and it's going to come about really unexpectedly, because Uranus brings unexpected change, unexpected knowledge, unexpected insight. It just happens sporadically. You ain't looking for it, it just comes to you. So keep that in mind with that energy. And with Uranus sextiling the North Node, this is not necessarily changing your direction to your destiny, but it's helping you switch gears in order to get aligned with your destiny. So this could also help you change where you are in alignment in several different areas. Because like I mentioned, Uranus is all about networking and social groups as well. It's about your friends, who you associate and affiliate with. So you could be seeing things that where you are needing to make a change with who you connect with. It's also showing you your goals, and this is not like your goals for the end of the week. This is your long-term goals, your 5, 10, 20-year plan down the road. What is it that you are trying to desire, trying to manifest? What desires are you trying to manifest? So it's going to be showing you the groups of individuals. It could be showing you something as small as your friends, or as globally or as big as the type of people that you affiliate with. And if these things are resonating with a direction that you're trying to go in regards to your destiny, your purpose, your long-term goals, your material gains. And it is going to bring, once again, a sudden burst of clarity, insight, not necessarily changing your values, but changing the direction in order to obtain those values. What work are you doing to obtain these values? That's another question. What are you needing to change on an emotional level? Who do you need to change around you? You can't change the people, but you can change the people, if you get what I'm saying. So what about your life and your emotions and your mindset and your perception needs to change in order to obtain the security? Because the 11th house is also the house of security. So what needs to happen in your life in order for you to obtain the security that you desire? And security comes in several different forms. It doesn't have to be financial security. It can be whatever it is that you are trying to obtain. On this day, I would say in the middle of the week, really this entire week is a great week to spend some time alone. And I don't find it ironic that we are being invited to quarantine ourselves in this moment. So this is a metaphor on so many different levels. It's ridiculous. The quarantine that we really need is to shut out the outside voices and retract inward, and figure out what it is that you need to heal yourself, to find the virus within you, and not this virus is out here, but the virus that's in you that is manifesting outwardly and creating more chaos in the world. It's a really great week for us to take advantage of being alone, journaling, being inward, of course, being with your loved ones, but your immediate family and whatnot. But at the same time, it's like building a community. We need to kind of be focused on that, because like I said, Uranus energy, it's all about the social networking groups that you affiliate with. So who's your community? Who's your family? Who are your friends? What are their beliefs? What's their direction? It's all about us now coming into being with like-minded individuals. And I'm going to get into that in a moment. At the end of the week, we have some energy coming up that's going to be really supportive of that. This is why it's important. So with the North Node, I already said that. Okay, so Uranus sextiling the North Node is really important to align to our values. So it's very important that you understand what it is that you value and what that looks like for you. And not only what that looks like, but more importantly, what that feels like. Because who you are connected to is going to either support you reaching those goals, support you reaching the values that you or obtaining, manifesting the things from those values, or it's not. Simple. And this includes business and intimate partnerships. So yeah, I wrote a note and it said we are taking these things with us. So basically, at the end of the week, we have some energy that's happening, and this week is very important. That's why this quarantine that's happening is very important, because it's about you releasing things. What is it that you need to release in order to step into this newness that we're breathing in at the end of this week? Let's see. Also, Wednesday, Thursday, we have the moon moves into Aquarius, and it's going to be making a sextile to Chiron and Aries. So the moon in Aquarius is supportive of that energy, that network and social groups, long-term goals energy. And it's going to be sextiling Chiron. So healing some wounds in regarding to our identity. How do we identify with ourselves? And how do we identify out here in this world? And what wounds have that created within us? So it's going to be healing our wounds of identity, right? Releasing these things. And then the sun moves into Aries around 10:45 p.m. on the 19th. So with the sun and Aries season kicking off, Aries is the first sign of the zodiac, right? So this is the sign of the self, the individual. Who are you? It's the I am. So you should be asking yourself, moving into Aries season, who are you? This is all about your values, all about who you connect with, because birds of a feather flock together. Who you connect with shows a lot about where you are going in life. And when the sun is in Aries with all of this other energy that we have with this Aquarian energy, it's definitely about autonomy, being your individual self, even in regards or even within the group, right? You are you in this mass group of individuals. Everyone is an individual. So it's about finding your individualism, but yet still being able to work as a collective. So let's move on to the end of the week. I think that's all I got for Wednesday, Thursday, for the middle of the week. At the end of the week, we have Mercury conjunct the moon. So Mercury in Pisces is going to be conjunct the moon in Pisces. And that's going to be making a sextile to Uranus in Taurus. And that is making a trine to the North Node. Okay. Then we have the sun in Aries making a square to the North Node in Cancer. Then we're going to have Mars in Capricorn conjunct Jupiter and Pluto in Capricorn. This is Saturday, Sunday. Then we're going to have Saturn moving into Aquarius, where it will be for the next 2.5, 3 years. And last but not least, we will have Saturn in Aquarius making a sextile to the sun in Aries. A lot of energy for this weekend. I suggest that you don't do anything. You just chill. That's my suggestion. So let's just start with Mercury conjunct the moon. So Mercury in Pisces, conjunct the moon in Pisces, being able to fully express and rapidly process our emotions. I would suggest that you do nothing, because the moon is going to be illuminating our truth. and the things that are not true. It's going to be showing you where you have been deluding yourself, where you have not been seeing things clearly, and this could breed a lot of confusion. And so if this is happening individually, this is also going to be happening on a collective level. Lots of confusion. It's important that you are being accountable with who you are. You are being accountable with who you show up as to others. Be accountable. It's important to hold yourself accountable. If you see that you are moving in this way and then you switch gears and move in this way, it's very important that you recognize that. And if you see it as a problem, fix it. If you don't, cool. That's about your values, like I mentioned earlier in the week. This is all leading up. It's literally like a step-by-step guideline for this week, preparing us for what's happening at the end of the week. We have the sun in Aries squaring the North Node in Cancer. So the North Node in Cancer is about our destiny with how do we take care of ourselves, our foundations, the purpose of our foundation. What are we building? It's not a coincidence that it's 2020, which is, you add it together in numerology, it's a 4. Cancer is the ruler of the 4th house. The 4 represents the foundation, the mother energy, the mother archetype. So also it represents your relation to the feminine. So this is that balance that we need to find. We're finding the balance between the masculine and the feminine energy in our life. And I don't mean men and women. I mean energy. And when you understand energy, you understand there are certain polarities and certain things that goes along with the masculine and the feminine energy. So it's about you balancing your home and your work life. It's about the balance of the two polarities. Where is it that we need to grow on an emotional level? How do we need to nurture ourselves and nurture the ones around us? It's about being accountable for who you are and who you show up as to other people. So with the sun squaring this North Node, this is about growth. It's going to promote growth. Some challenges might arise this weekend that's going to promote growth towards your purpose. And if you have not been accountable for the things that you have done, the things that you have physically and solely manifested into your life, and the alignment that you need to be on, it could really be some challenges that come up to show you where you have been off kilter, right? And this is going to help you switch gears, like I mentioned. So just keep that in mind. We also have Mars conjunct Pluto and Jupiter in the sign of Capricorn. This is heavy. Increase your ambition and your drive. This also can breed a need for power. This also can help you increase your focus on your dreams and your goals. It can help you really kind of like hone down on it and just go after it. But I don't think that this is going to be an energy that's going to manifest really quickly where you just embody it and start moving in it. It's going to be an understanding, kind of like food, right? You prepare the food, you smell the food, you then eat the food. And then once you eat the food, it has to digest. So you're going to have to digest this energy because it's going to be here for a couple of weeks. You're going to have to digest this energy before you're actually able to act on it. Get the nutrients from this energy to put it out in the universe, put it out in the world, to manifest it outside of yourself. This is also going to support us manifesting our desires, our dreams, our goals with clear and decisive focus. But at the same time, this is supportive of releasing and transforming, because as I mentioned in previous videos, that Mars and Capricorn, what people fail to realize, Mars in general is about cutting things, but Mars and Capricorn is about cutting things that don't work. Mostly right now, because it's conjunct the South Node. which is the karmic release. So we're cutting things that do not work for us on a karmic level. So it's deeper than just, just cutting things that don't work in your life now. It's cutting things that have not worked for any of your lives that you've been here. It's cutting things that you have carried from your ancestors. It's cutting things that you have carried from your lives before, just on a soul level. This is holding me back from elevating. This is holding me back from reaching my awareness, my higher consciousness. It's about releasing these things. And yeah, inspiration. It's going to inspire us to focus on the end goal, which is that Aquarius, Uranus energy that I was speaking of. But we're focused more inward, not necessarily externally. Focus on ourselves. So let's see. Saturday, we have Saturn moving into the sign of Aquarius. Now, I'm not sure. I might do both. I might do a video and a blog. I'm not quite sure about that on this, because this is important. We have been dealing with Saturn in Capricorn for the last 2.5, 3 years. So now Saturn is moving into Aquarius. And of course, it's going to retrograde back into Capricorn, and it's going to move back. But for the next 2.5, 3 years, we're going to be dealing with this Saturn and Aquarius energy. And this is going to show us, kind of, if you're not already seeing this, but it's going to be showing you a new set of challenges that are going to be arising right now, of what's to come for the next 2 to 3 years, that's going to promote the growth in you, what work needs to be done. And I'm going to talk about this probably regarding like sign by sign. And every time I do a sign by sign, just throwing it out there really quickly, it's about your rising sign. So if you do not know your rising sign, if you do not understand your birth chart, just throwing it out there. I would love to go ahead and read your birth chart for you, get that set up for you, so you can understand, what your rising, your sun, moon, your rising, and all the other aspects that's happening in your chart. Just throwing it out there. It'll be a lot easier if you had an understanding of the energy individually in your chart, so you can see exactly how all of this is going to be affecting you in your own life. So, Saturn in Aquarius, and I can give you an example for me. Saturn has been in Capricorn in my 9th house for the last 2.5, 3 years. I have been in school obtaining my bachelor's degree in psychology for the last 2.5 years, literally. And that is in my 9th house of education, higher learning, philosophies, beliefs, as well as long distance travel. In the last 2.5, 3 years, I have also done quite a bit of traveling as well. So keeping that in mind, now that it is moving, Saturn is moving into my 10th house of career and public image, I now have to take what I have obtained from my 9th house, which is what I've learned, and I have to apply it in my work. That's what I will be doing for the next 2.5, 3 years. And I'll be starting my master's program. So that's that. Plus, I'm now working full time, House of Chiron, building my business. That is taking my 9th house energy and applying it to my 10th house energy of career. So what I've learned, and now I am putting it into work. So that's kind of an example of what is to come with this Saturn in Aquarius. But Saturn in Aquarius, as I mentioned, the Aquarius energy is about the network. It's about the groups of individuals that you work with. So who are you partnering with, right? So like I said, it's all about who are you partnering with. And in this case, what groups do you affiliate with? What social networking groups are you affiliating with? And it's also going to, if you're not willing to work together, if you are all about the self only, it's going to be a hard transit for you. This is going to bring the challenges that's necessary for us to start working together more collectively, because it's a completely different time. So we also have Saturn making a sextile to the sun. So Saturn in Aquarius will be sextiling the sun in Aries. So this is, again, about your individualism within the group, maintaining your individuality, but yet still being part of the group. It's about the work that you bring. You cannot be affiliating yourself with people who are not putting in equal amounts of work as you. And that's where the Mars and Capricorn conjunct Jupiter and Pluto comes to cut things away. Just putting it out there. I'm not going to sugarcoat nothing for y'all. So with this, it's going to bring the patience and the perseverance that we need for our work ethic. But, in order to complete these tasks, but we have to do that being comfortable with showing up as our true selves, right? And this is in relationship to our work. So you have to be comfortable with being who you are, showing up as who you are, being accountable for who you are and how you show up, and still making sure that you're putting in equal amounts of work or your work ethic in the work that you're doing within these groups that you are affiliating with, as well as individually within yourself. So this is this is the end of Galactic Gossip, but I'm going to do like a recap because it was a lot. So at the beginning of the week, we are tapping into what it is that we value, seeing these things, making sure that we are in alignment with what we value, checking our social networking groups, checking our environment, really sitting with ourselves to see what needs to be removed within, so that way we can manifest without. And also focus more on the feeling of things and not necessarily the image. Because at the end of the week, we are moving into a new time. Oh, the big thing I forgot is the spring equinox this weekend as well. So as we start a new time, we are starting a new astrological year. Not a coincidence. None of this is by chance. So keep that in mind. So basically, I would suggest that you kind of sit with yourself at least for the beginning to the middle of the week, even at the end of the week, to tell you the truth. I'm not going to sugarcoat it. I would just, it's very important that you sit. And I don't mean isolation solely by yourself, unless that's what you need to do. But limit the social interaction that you have with the various groups, so that way you can actually see things clearly. Allow the downloads and allow the information that's coming in to process. Give yourself time to process. Take this week off. It's not a coincidence that we're being invited to be quarantined, right? To quarantine ourselves. So just use this as, try to find the benefit in this. Find the opportunity within the obstacles that are presented, because there's always an opportunity within every obstacle. It's all about how you see it. So that being said, I'm going to give a few quick announcements. We have solar returns for Pisces wrapping up on Wednesday. Yes, Wednesday will be the last day to get 20% off Pisces solar returns. And then we will be moving into Aries season. I love y'all. I have an Aries moon, so that's that. But also look for my Saturn in Aquarius blog and or video. Might as well do both because I got time. I'm quarantined. I need to stop. But so look for that information, as well as some other videos that will be coming out this week as well. I'm going to start up doing my Chiron series again. I believe I've only done the Chiron in Aries and Chiron in Taurus videos. So I will be doing the Chiron in Gemini all the way through Pisces. Probably putting those out once a week, as well as some other videos I will be starting on my psychology in correlation to astrology videos as well. I have some great content that I'll be putting out with that, and that will also start this week and going forward. So I have some great things. If you want to, if you can, please like, share, subscribe, all of these things. And yeah, follow me on Instagram, follow me on Twitter, Facebook, House of Chiron, TX, all of that. Thank y'all for being here. I hope you have a wonderful week. Please reach out and comment below if you are feeling any of these energies right now and what all of this, and like, I want to have dialogue. Let's talk about it. What are you experiencing on a spiritual level in regards to what's happening globally? What are you experiencing? What are you feeling? What downloads are you getting? I would love to hear what people are really going through right now, and if I can be of service to that, like I can offer some tools, some tips, or anything. So yeah, so thank y'all for tuning into Galactic Gossip. Peace.